Hello, I'm Super Orange Cat here. I'm today with a Toonami news update for today, June 16th, 2021. First piece of news to cover is the more breaking news, and that being us getting an announcement about Fena Pirate Princess. Fena Pirate Princess was announced back at Adult Swim Expo last year, 2020. It was announced to be a Toonami original, along with working with Crunchyroll and Production IG. Now, this show I predicted not that long ago was probably going to be the first of the Toonami 4 originals to air. And looks like I am going to be right with that prediction as we got an announcement that it will be airing in summer 2021, which is a pretty broad period. That means anytime from June 21st. And if it was as soon as like late June, we would have gotten an exact date by now. So it's not going to be that soon, or as late as late September. And there's a couple slots open up soon. Like, for example, Dr. Stone ends towards the end of July, and another show, I want to say My Hero Academia season ends in August. I might be wrong on that. So that's possible slots. And also, there's always a possibility they just give them open up a new slot for this show. And again, for Tommy Originals, they better air it early. As in, like, if for some reason this is airing the same time as My Hero Academia, you might have to bump My Hero Academia out of the way to make room for the show at the very top. I mean, you spent top dollar on this, and although it hasn't run into the types of production delays something like Uzumaki has, you still need to be able to make a buck off of this. You've put bigger investment in this show than you did in My Hero Academia, and you better recoup that money. So, and another thing is we actually got a trailer along with this announcement that was premiered at the Annecy Film Festival earlier today in France. And basically, the summary of the trailer is a girl, I guess she's from like a rich family, like the boat's under attack from pirates or something. So her brother basically puts her in like what's that called? The small boat the stuff that the Titanic didn't have a lot of, lifeboat. Put her in a lifeboat and send her off to sea where she was presumably safe somewhere. Then it's like cuts to like her wedding day. And she's like, I don't want to marry a man I haven't met yet. And then she's like, screw it, YOLOs, and decides to become a pirate where she does pirate stuff, basically trying to find her family again. So ultimately, my impression of this is maybe I'm a bit spoiled because of what we got from Uzumaki yesterday. First off, I'm happy we got quite a bit of new animation about this. The character designs, I might be wrong, look a bit different from the original models that we saw back at Adult Swim Expo, but at the same time, I mean, with as amazing as Uzumaki's animation looked yesterday, I'm a bit spoiled to say that this did not quite hold up to snuff animation-wise. Although it's not bad, it definitely like I've seen worst anime before, and I've seen worst animated anime appear on Toonami, so that's not going to be really an issue. And the plot line, I feel like it's kind of a it's I feel like it's a trope where you have something like a female character has a wedding day and she like decides to like run off and do her own thing. Like I can't the only example I can recall off the top of my head is the first episode of Friends. But I feel like I've seen it like a billion times before. Please correct me if I'm wrong because I feel like I've seen this not just in anime but like a general media trope. But I mean, but at the same time, maybe that's a bit of a nitpick, you know. And unlike Uzumaki, whose plot more or less is already set in stone, Fena has its own room to breathe, and it'll be interesting to see if it ends up taking a really good route or if it just kind of plays by the numbers. Which is one thing I'm a little worried about from the trailer is that it might be a by the numbers anime in a way. But who knows? I might be surprised when it airs. I'm gonna airball and say I'm just gonna shoot in the dark here and say we'll see it sometime in August. It's kind of towards the middle of summer, so who knows? And the other news I got is Toonami ratings. We got Toonami's ratings from this past Saturday, June 12th, 2021. Let's start at the top of the block. Top of the block, we have My Hero Academia at a 0.18, Dr. Stone at a 0.14, The Food Wars at a 0.14, The Promised Neverland limps in at a 0.11, Black Clover at a 0.09, Narrative Shipping at a 0.08, Attack on Titan at a 0.06, and Goku Screaming at a 0.07. Overall, I can't really say how good or bad this week is because we haven't had many data points with this exact schedule. And first off, I have to give credit to Spoiler TV because they're basically now going to be the source for Saturday cable ratings. So when I get numbers, it's from them, and this graphic was actually on the r Toonami subreddit. I know I did like one time I showed like the graphic from like the Toonami subreddit and someone like complained to me, so you need to give them credit. So fine, here's my credit to r Toonami for the graphic. And what I like to point out here is, of course, you have to talk about the elephant in the room, and that is, well, how well did My Hero Academia did? I think it did the bottom end of what I expected. I was expecting somewhere between like 0.17 to like a 0.23 for it leading off the block. And there's other ratings have been like recently, like the last couple days posted from previous weeks. And I think the couple other data points we had from My Hero Academia leading off the block was like 0.15 and like 0.17. So this is the highest of those three, which I guess is a good thing because it's got a net upward trend. I don't know if it has to do with like a building action in the season because My Hero Academia has had a tendency to get off slow starts in seasons, especially since they had another one of their famous let's have a kind of a pseudo recap warming up episode to lead off a season. But after that, what I like to point out is really what on paper should be a strong lineup really is underperforming. Like, Dr. Stone lose quite a bit of retention to a 0.14, And in terms of total viewers, it actually got beat out by Food Wars after that. But since we don't have exact numbers to the thousandth, and I don't have the viewers specifically in the 18 to 49 age group, I can't say for sure if it beat out in the actual ratings. But again, Dr. Stone was really well hyped. I've heard a lot before even it was announced on Toonami about season 2 Stone Wars. It's gonna be awesome. But it appears that people just aren't really coming out in droves for the show. And again, it's a case of have a very fiery first season and then just kind of hit her out and lose momentum as the second season goes on. And you can argue the same thing happened to Fire Force too. Because I remember before Fire Force was initially announced for Toonami, that anime got a lot of word of mouth. I heard about it a lot from people who even didn't know about Toonami. And by season 2, I think a lot of the interest kind of dipped. It just kind of became a cult following show where it's like, you don't have that many people follow it, but the people who follow it really love the show type situation. So, I mean, and that remains to be seen. And then again, I have to point out the Promised Neverland. I've talked a lot about the show recently. Getting a 0.11, another drop off in retention from Food Wars. It's pretty damn self explanatory why Promised Neverland isn't doing that well. It'll be interesting to see how ratings for this do next week, considering it is the finale, the most infamous episode of the season, apparently. I have no information about what actually happens in it. I have had a lot of people tell me that they're expecting my episode Sunday to be very fun and interesting. So let's see, guys. And then after that, you have Black Clover at a 0.09. I think they're out of filler, or if they're not, they're like close to getting out of filler at this point. I mean, and at this point, I think we're not quite at the time skip. And again, it'd be interesting to see how the show ends on Toonami, considering we actually have a final episode number for the show. And I believe someone did the math and said that they expect Black Clover to end sometime in November under current schedule rate. So let's see. Especially since I believe this year we will not have a July 4th marathon, so it'll be 1 week sooner. And you have Shippuden at a 0.08, which I mean, at this point, the show's been on the block for a billion years at this point. It's technically airing quote unquote new episodes at this point, so I guess. I mean, it's 2:30 in the morning, and there are other shows I could rip on for underperforming worse than that. And again, you have Attack on Titan and Dragon Ball Super being reruns to end the block. I still think it's a bit interesting that Dragon Ball Super beat out actually built on Attack on Titan. But yet again, Dragon Ball is always going to attract a good number of fans, regardless of when it's put on the air, apparently. It'd be interesting to see if it got like that 0.16, 0.17 still this late at night. That would have been hilarious to see, but we didn't get that. But again, ultimate winner of the night, I guess, is Food Wars for kind of building on Dr. Stone. Food Wars still doing reasonably well with what's put in front of it in the block. Despite there was concerns I heard about back when the show first got picked up for Toonami that, oh, when you get to season 3 and season 4, the show falls down in quality, or the manga falls down in quality, but people still appear to be tuning in. So Food Wars is the winner of the week. Loser of the week will probably be Dr. Stone. It's been chronically underperforming since coming to the block. What do you guys think? What's your opinions on Fena Pirate Princess coming this summer 2021? Did you watch the trailer? Did you like it? Thoughts about Toonami's ratings for this past week? If you like this, if you want more wacky Toonami news content like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. I am the Super Orange Cat, And that is all.